Angdev, yesterday we embarked on day 2 of the Joy Clean Ghana campaign.
Sure.
And in fact, for a lot of the work we've been doing with sanitation, you have been going out to take pictures and you've been seeing what's going on. And it's a bad situation when we talk about sanitation.
Yeah.
But yesterday, something in particular happened. Tell us.
Yesterday, when we went out, the program started very nicely. The officials were moving from house to house to interact with people, educating them, and those that they found that they need to come to their office, they gave them notice to come to their office. And sometimes you see when the officials are doing that, you see people are happy, others are also, they feel reluctant to heed. But yesterday we went to many homes, and there was this particular lady who was selling beans and the yoke gari, in a very confined place, very little place, and she was actually selling it. People were also coming to buy, but the woman had packed the ripe plantain that she used to fly to sell the stuff against a toilet wall.
A public toilet?
No, it's not. It's the household one.
Oh, okay.
But if you look at the back of the toilet, that is where, when it is full, they used to pull the stuff, and you could see house flies hovering around. And then you go to where she was selling, you could see a bathroom, entrance of the bathroom, because the place is not spacious. The place is too small. For me, I don't think that business should be done in that space.
In a space like that?
Yes. And then you could see flies around. So when the officers got there, they had an interaction with the lady, and later they told her that the staff packed there are unwholesome. So they were not going to allow her to continue selling to public. It will expose them to health risk. So the man asked the task force to take the plantains away and destroy them.
And that's when the incidents began to ensue. Okay, now let me say good morning to Mohammed J. Soa. He's joined us in studio. He's the mayor of Accra. Mr. Soa, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm blessed. I'm fine. It's just what I'm hearing this morning. People packing fried plantain by latrine facilities. The scene Angdev is describing here is terrible, isn't it?
It is. Thank you very much for hosting me this morning. Let me say good morning to your listeners. Last week, the last time I came here, you were not here.
Yes. But it's good to be back.
Yes.
Mr. Soa,
Yes.
I'll let you come in. MFA Joadosi is also here. MFA, good morning.
Good morning, Daniel.
You were with the team yesterday. You were the reporter that Angdev was taking pictures for.
Yes.
Okay. So let Angdev go straight to what happened to you. What happened to you yesterday? You were trying to take pictures, and then what happened?
Yeah, before that incident, I saw this assemblyman moving from house to house, calling on people, mobilizing people. Actually, he was on rampage. I saw it. So when the inspectors asked the people to take the plantains away, I sensed that there could be a confusion. So I moved from the house and then went to the street, because they had their cars parked there. And these are the cars they will use to cut the thing. So I just went out of the house to position or to monitor how they will put those things in the car, or the reaction of the people, to capture the reaction of the people. So when I went there, yes, the assemblyman and his people were, struggling with some of the task force members, and I pointed my camera. The moment they saw me taking the picture, all of them came on me, demanding the picture. They were pulling the camera from me. They said why I should take them pictures and all that. They were very angry. So it became a very tough thing between me and them. They were taking the camera from my hand. I said, no, the camera is not yours. You have no right taking my camera. So the struggle ensued till they came together and pushed me. The time they were pushing, somebody slapped me from behind. I didn't see the person, but assemblyman came with immobilized, youth, and then they pushed me to the ground. They crashed my camera on the road. So I was down. When I stood on my feet, I saw I was actually mobbed. People had,
you were all around you.
I found myself in the midst of them.
You must have been scared.
Yeah, because I was not of my. Because if you look at these angry people, you could see their faces. If like I was doing my routine assignment and that thing happened to me, nobody could predict what should have transpired from that scene.
Okay. David Andor is a cameraman on myjoyonline.com. Back to back GJA photojournalist of the year. Back to back. Very few photojournalists in Ghana have done that. MFA Jadosi, before I come to the mayor to get his comment on this, I also want to get your account because you were also there. So very quickly, where you went, what you covered, and how this happened from your perspective.
When we started the process or the exercise, it was very smooth, Daniel. Our first place was a food vendor who was selling at the edge of a gutter. She didn't have a hairnet on. She didn't have an apron. She had painted nails. She didn't have the health card that every food vendor was supposed to have. And so she was served with a notice. Then just by her was this story building. And so the inspector said he wanted to go to the house and see what was happening. When we got there, he requested that they take him to the toilet where they actually, the place of convenience. So we went there. It was just one toilet seat. In fact, just one toilet. And then he asked how many people were in the house. At first, one man said, okay, so he and his family members, they are 11. Then we realized that there were other tenants in the house. We also went to ask them where they use, their place of convenience. And they all said they use that same toilet facility. So if you add up the numbers, more than 25 people were using one toilet seat. And so the landlady and then the caretaker were served. But that same house had another problem. In fact, it was a story building. The upper part of the building was almost falling off. It was the front part of it was made of wood. So the wood was rotting. It was hanging, almost as if it was about to fall. In fact, we didn't even know people lived there until one of the inspectors climbed up and called the team to come. And Daniel, if you're walking upstairs, you would really be terrified. There are cracks on the walls. In fact, when I actually got to the top, I stepped on one wood and I thought I was going to fall down because it wasn't balanced. I thought I was going to actually fall down. And people lived in these rooms. One guy said, "Oh yes, I live here. I pay rent." The inspector asked, "Are you sure you pay rent and you live here?" He says, "I pay rent." And
did he say how much?
No, he didn't say how much, but he didn't look really concerned because he says, "Yeah, I live here." But for the team, it was really scary because even the walls, the walls were deep cracks, and people were living in these homes.
Wow.
So the Director for Public Health said no. People don't have to live in this, in this building, especially here. And so he asked that the landlady repays or refunds the monies to these tenants so that they can relocate. And so that was how it ended. But then when we got down from that building, they had another problem. Their gutters were choked with plastics, with food residue, with all sorts of materials. They had wood with nails in them left in the open. Nobody cared. The inspector said, "No, bring your brooms down. You're getting to work."
So immediately he put them to work.
Yes.
Oh, that's
they came
good.
out with their brooms, their rakes, and they started clearing, the drains. So the exercise was very,
smooth.
In the morning it was very smooth. They were complying, even though some of them would say, "Oh, we are not the ones that did this. We didn't put the things in the gutter," but they still complied with the officials until we got to the house with the plantain. In fact, when we got to that house, the woman knew that she was wrong. She was begging. She was pleading with the AMA officials that, okay, she knows that what she's doing is wrong because her health card had expired. She was selling the beans and the plantain right in front of her bathroom. She was frying the plantain at the gates of the toilet. The unripe plantain was kept close to the pipe, the toilet pipe, So she knew that she was wrong. So she was pleading, but the official said, no, we can't let you cook here. We can't let you do this. So she complied. And the team, they were taking the plantain away. And then we're told that there was something happening outside. So when we got there, what I saw was Mr. Ando had just gotten up from the floor and was checking his camera. But there was this gentleman in Rasta, braids. Dreadlocks. Who, still wanted to go and attack him. So people were actually holding the guy back. So that is what we saw. That is what I witnessed when I got there, and the entire community, they were emboldened because this is our assemblyman. Assemblyman endorses all that we are doing. So who are you to tell us not to do it? It was scary. At a point, they were actually hooting at the team.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Because how did you exit the place? So how did all of this end?
So David Ando was put in the pickup,
okay,
because he had to be taken to the police station to make a complaint. So just when the team were leaving, the entire community came to the middle of the streets, doing hooting, whoa, like, that kind of thing. Yes. And Daniel, it didn't end there. They didn't witness what I saw. When we were leaving and we're going back to the AMA sub-metro, the assemblyman followed us there.
Zola.
He followed the team, the second part of the team that went back to the office. He followed us there, went to the compound with his boy, started screaming, shouting, and threatening that as long as he's there, nobody from this AMA should step foot to Jamestown.
But he's from the AMA.
Well, he actually mentioned that if you want to come back, don't come to Jamestown, Nanshagbona, go to a different community. So it was.
What about the security personnel who you were with at the time?
So we had initially 2 policemen with us. In fact, when the whole thing happened, because the whole process were in the house, they were with us in the house. So they did not witness what had happened to Mr. Ando. When we got out, the policemen tried to calm Zola down.
Okay.
In fact, the PR for the AMA, Gilbert himself, I saw him, trying. The AMA, everybody was trying to get him to understand that this is an exercise. But he just wouldn't listen. So if you wouldn't listen to anybody, the policeman too, he wasn't going to listen to them anyways. Even after the reinforcement came, he still threw them off.
Before we go ahead, let's hear the full sound, Florence Kuchi's full sound. So what was Florence Kuchi's role in the team? I know she's the head of public health as the AMA, but what was her role in the team that day? So
I know that when she gets there, she educates you that this is what we're doing wrong, this is not good or safe for the public, this is a public health concern and all of that. And then she demands that you are served with a notice or you are taken to court, you are given a summons. Okay. So that is what she was basically doing.
Okay. So listen to her reaction to all that you've just heard being described.
Radio Joy 99.7.
The whole process has come to an end because we have been distracted, and we thought the assembly member in the area could have even given us his support. But he came to support his people, telling us that it's election time and very soon they'll be doing elections, so we do not have the right to come to tell people to clean their environment. This is where politics have taken us to. Does it mean that if they are going to have elections, you shouldn't clean your environment? If somebody doesn't clean the environment, the person falls sick and die. Would a dead person come and vote for you? So this is really disappointing. I'm really disappointed. Really disappointed. So due to that, we are stopping the exercise. We are leaving, and then we'll look for another place and go come next week. But as for today, we cannot work here again because his people are now furious. He should have even been at our back to tell the people to go back. But he has made the people to come forward to attack us. And we cannot be in a place. Our life is at risk if we are staying here. So we are stopping and then we are leaving.
Are there plans to report to the police?
The police are here. They have seen what has gone on. So we do not even have to go and report anybody to the police. Because we all saw it. The cameraman was slapped by the assembly member of the area.
So it's 2 minutes past 9. You just heard the head of public health at the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, Florence Kuchi. The head of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly, the mayor, is here, Mohammed Nieje Soa. Mr. Soa, once again, welcome. Thank you. So what you've heard, I mean, some good work is going on, but a very unfortunate incident there with this assemblyman.
Well, thank you very much once again for having me. Let me first of all apologize for the unfortunate incident that happened to the multimedia team. This is a partnership arrangement. We've thought through it. We are supposed to work together and give them maximum security on this exercise. Unfortunately, an incident occurred that was triggered by one of our own. So, for collective responsibility, I want to apologize on behalf of the Accra Metropolitan Assembly to the multimedia crew. From what I heard, that it was the assembly member action that triggered the altercation and led to the
slap.
The slap or whatever. But I just want to find out from David, is it the assembly member who slapped you or somebody slapped you?
Somebody, because the person who did the slap from behind.
Okay.
But assemblyman
Was
came
coming.
with his men,
You were-
and
you were
they
facing
were
him.
taking the camera away from me.
Okay.
Okay.
So there was a struggle. I was struggling with them, and somebody slapped me. So I didn't see the person, but
Okay.
the assemblyman and his guys,
Okay.
they
You could
were
see
facing
them.
me. So when they saw that they couldn't take the camera, they came together and pushed me to the ground. They crashed the camera on the ground.
Okay, I still want to stress on the apology once again, but I just want to clarify, probably understand the processes and see who could possibly be held liable for what happened and based on the action that occurred. Yes, I was actually in town on my second day at school. We have my first day at school, but AMA has got a lot of schools. So we're continuing with the exercise of going to the various schools to welcome our kids that have come to school for the first time and to present and give to them. And then we had a call that there was an incident at Jamestown. So at the time I rushed to the place, I came to meet my dear friend MFA at the Sub Metro, and they had called off the program. And then we went to the police station because around that time David had gone to the police station already to make a report. So I also went to the police station with them to talk to the police to make sure they take up this matter. At the moment, the matter is not within my domain because once the police have taken up, it's going to court matter and all kinds of things. But I don't think this is acceptable in this our era of democracy where there's freedom of press and we something that we jealously got in this country. And I'm sure people took it for granted of what actually happened. And I think that it's not something we should countenance in Accra. But to proceed, the exercise started off very well. In Aveno, the assembly member for Aveno is the presiding member for the assembly. The presiding member, it's quote unquote, equivalent to like the Speaker
member
of Parliament
The Speaker of Parliament.
in Parliament. And he lent his full support to it. The assembly has been informed of the exercise. What we don't tell you is that we are coming to your place today because we don't want you to be aware and get prepared so that we will not see the kind of fraud that we see over there. That we will not do that. That was our arrangement. And that's the essence of this whole exercise. So for somebody to say that you will not be informed, it is not your right. It does not fall within your purview. For us to inform you of the exercise that is going on. And the Public Health Department, led by the director herself, is a summon, department of the assembly, but we now call them Public Health Department or officers. And it is an exercise that they do on daily basis. In fact, the woman in question, where you went to the house and saw the ripe plantain placed close to the latrine herself, you could see that has a public health certificate, but has expired. That tells you that our officials go around and do that kind of enforcement all the time, but it's just unfortunate that at that material moment, her certificate has expired and she is aware. And I heard you saying that, look, she was even pleading because she is aware. But unfortunately, the community led by somebody else, did not understand the point. What did not go down well with me was the fact that this was the same community the president made the famous declaration that he wants Accra to become the cleanest city, hopefully by the end of his tenure. You would have expected that this same community should welcome the exercise and commend us for the work that we are doing. I've done a lot of work in the community. Just a couple of months ago, I provided litter bins for a lot of households, more than 100 litter bins, 240 litter bins, and then 120 litter bins for free in the household. Because you want people to maintain a very good environment and be more hygienic in the way they go about their normal duty. So you meet them halfway. Even in terms of toilet, household toilet, we have the toilet at half price. The Ministry of Zongo and Inner City, just about 2 months ago, has provided 50 toilets to the household for free. Indeed, next month, they are providing 100 toilets for the same community. 50 will go to Kolegono and another 50 will go to Osu. So there's effort by government, there's effort by the assembly to make sure that we clean the environment of this filth, and people will not see the kind of filth that you see about. So if government is doing all these things, and we have seen that attitude hasn't changed much, apart from the fact that we are doing education and enforcement, we believe strongly that the partnership arrangement that we have with the multimedia team, by putting the cameras on people about their environment, is a game changer. And indeed, is already a talk in town after the Aveno exercise. It's become a talk in town to the extent that people are now on the lookout. That, look, we don't know when the multimedia AMA train will stop, so let's be on the lookout. The incident that happened was just unfortunate. We cannot entertain it, and I'm here to reassure the multimedia team that my leadership on this exercise is unshakable. We will continue with the exercise because the president have given us a mandate, and it is his dream and it is vision. We are working towards the president's vision, and we think that this arrangement will help us to address some of the problems that we are confronted with.
Will you be taking action against this assemblyman?
I've explained earlier that the law has taken its course already, and yesterday I heard the Jamestown Police Commander on Joy that is going to court to procure summons, and that will be served on him, and then will be going to court. And the law has taken its course, so let's allow the law to take its course.
As an assembly, this is someone who has openly gone against a resolution that the assembly has taken.
Yes.
In that breath, would you be taking any punitive actions against this member?
Yes. So what we do is that we have what we call a public complaints committee, which is chaired by the presiding member. That's a Aveno Assembly member. So the matter will be reported to him. He's out of town at the moment. The matter is reported to him, and then they will also sit on the matter and dealt with it whilst the court process is also ongoing.
So when are we expected to see? When should we expect? To see this process begin?
We have started.
The report has been made.
We have started yesterday, but they are yet to meet. They are yet to meet. The chairman of the committee, as I said, who is the presiding member. There's a conference of presiding members of Ghana, where it's all going. I think in Cape Coast or somewhere. Okay. So they are somewhere there. Yeah.
Okay. So we can be assured that not only do we have the AMA support in this still, action is being taken by the AMA and the police on this assemblyman?
We've been on the same page right from day one. I mean, as she indicated, we knew that in Accra there will be pushback, but so we detailed policemen to support them. But I mean, we're taken by surprise as to what actually happened. What it means that we just have to beef them.
I was going to ask about that. Should we not be concerned about the security personnel that we put on these teams?
You had 2 policemen, and the incident happened just about 100 meters away from the Jamestown police station. So it's within a certain catchment area where the police could easily walk to that distance. And it's a community that everybody knows everybody. That's Jamestown. Everybody knows everybody. I've lived in the community. I spent time there. So, yeah, I mean, nobody can be evasive.
Right, it's 30 minutes past 9. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. In the studio with me is Mohammed Nieje Soa, MFA Juadosi is here, David Ando is here. And after hearing this, I'm sure you can rest assured and go back on the field to go and work.
I think that he's well experienced enough. He's seen a lot of things in his life. But
let him speak for himself.
Sure. He has been my friend. He has been my friend since yesterday.
Everybody is your friend.
The first time I met him was in Kumasi.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not deterred, and I'm so passionate about this program because I'm learning many things from learning attitude of people, how people keep the environment and all that. There are many things I've seen in this exercise. I can't say it on air, but I mean it is helping people to change their attitude. So I'm not saying because of this incident. After I've gone through, something tougher than that, and I'm going to do more to make sure we have Accra as a cleaner city in Africa.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We have a lot of clean cities to compete with. I must say when you mention that.
I think that you should keep a very positive spirit.
I'm just saying competition.
One on this project or this exercise. I think that we should end the discussion on a very positive note. With an increase in positivism about this whole exercise. That this and I'm so happy with what David just said. I mean, he's nailed it. That look, people drive on the streets of Accra, and you don't know what happens in the communities. You don't really know. So we are not taking the cameras to the neighborhoods
for us to see what happens
for you
there.
To see things over there.
It's very serious.
I'm sure the people that you saw in that house think that it's normal.
Yeah.
But to you, who drives on the streets of Accra and maybe sleeps at Cantonment or Jowolo, you may not know. But this is what you are. So in informal and low-income communities, we are likely to see some of these things, and this becomes a wake-up call. And as I indicated earlier, we are providing the necessary support and interventions. Maybe we have to step up and do more.
Definitely. It's still 16 minutes past 9. What we'll do now is that we take a quick breather. When we come back, we'll look at specifically what we are going to do, especially when the cameras are off, and some of the actions that we are taking as an AMA and as multimedia to ensure that this dream is achieved. Your comments and messages are still welcome. WhatsApp and Telegram 0244 340437. Tweet at us at Joy997 FM. Go on our Facebook page, Joy 99.7 FM. We'll be right back.
Daddy, I bet you enjoyed your trip abroad.
Oh, yes. It was worth every peso. And the experience was breathtaking. The beautiful environment, the culture, and the food. Oh, my. Until I got terribly sick.
Joy, perhaps from eating too many new dishes.
But you know, thanks to my Glyco travel insurance policy, all my medical bills were paid for the 3 days that I was on admission.
Really? Glyco travel insurance policy?
Yes, my dear. Glyco travel insurance is the best. Look, it covers medical and emergency services, personal assistance services, emergency return home, personal liability such as legal defense, loss of baggage, personal accidents, trip cancellation, or even delayed departure. And even these are the ones I remember off my head. Yes, Glyco Travel Insurance has a worldwide cover and widely accepted by entities, both Shenzhen and non-Shenzhen. Visit any of our Glyco offices nationwide or call 020-422-113 or 055-5305-547 for ready assistance from our experienced support team. Be safe, travel protected, and have a peace of mind. Glyco, we cushion you for life. At Afrodan, we believe that many of the problems people have with their health is as a result of the way they sit. In other words, your chair can kill you. Here's Dr. Marcus Mann of the Chiropractic and Wellness Center.
What you have to remember is that the spine is the lifeline to your body, and posture is the window to that spine. Now, posture is affected by your daily activities and habits like sitting. That's why at the Chiropractic and Wellness Centers, we recommend what I believe to be the best chairs available for preventing not only subluxations, but also other health problems that you may not be aware of. And that's Rabami and Mobilex chairs. Unfortunately, on a daily basis, I have to correct the effects of this poor sitting habit in our businessmen and businesswomen. Always remember, optimal spine equals optimum health.
So, for the sake of your health, buy Rabami or Mobilex chairs from Afrodan. We are on the first floor of the Swansea Shopping Arcade. Telephone 663-085.
King of my heart, my one and only. You've been working hard, shouldn't we travel with the kids to relax? Lodge in a 5-star hotel, go on a boat cruise. Don't worry. With Visa, we can get amazing discounts on summer trips, tickets and tours in UK, Dubai and USA. Where's that flyer, Seth? See, we could also win home appliances when we spend at least $500 or its equivalent in any currency abroad.
Offer open to all Visa card holders till the 13th of September 2019. Visit africa.visa.com for more offers. Ask your bank for an instant Visa card today. Terms and conditions apply. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
So with this promo, we can win some home appliances and I can finally have my peace.
My name is Kwame Sefakai, and most of you know me as a media personality, but I am also a family man. The UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, saves me so much time by letting me do almost all of my banking transactions on my phone. The cardless withdrawal feature allows me to withdraw cash from any UMB ATM without an ATM card. I can also pay bills, transfer money, request for a loan, invest money, and so much more. So now, I can spend less time at the bank and more time with the ones I love. Bank anywhere and anytime with a UMB mobile banking app, UMB Speed App, and get the time to do what you love most. Download the UMB Speed App from your Android, iOS, or Windows phone today. Call 0302-633-988 for more information. UMB Speed App, Digibank, let's go!
Morning Show.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
21 minutes past 9. This is still the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We are in the inner city this morning. We are inside Jamestown with Mohamed Nieje Soa. He is the mayor of Accra. So we started off by talking about the actions of this assemblyman, the Joy Clean Ghana campaign, where we are so far. But the bigger issue really is about the planning and development and sanitation in our cities. What is the real solution in there? When you drive through Jamestown, what you see? Where do we start fixing it? That's the conversation we're going to have in the next 10 or so minutes, and then we give you the chance to call in and ask any question you have. Take a step into the future with Barclays Absa Group Limited. At Absa, we always strive to keep you ahead. We invested $500 million into tech to make future possibilities a present reality. We also collaborate to provide you with modern, award-winning banking solutions. Welcome to Absa Group Limited. Absa, proudly serving you in Ghana as Barclays. There's now a Miniso shop right here in Ghana, and it's bringing a whole new shopping experience to the Marina Mall in Accra. From the 14th of September, visit Miniso and pick out your trendy, quality and affordable household items, daily life products, health and beauty products, fashion and digital accessories, and get rewarded with an instant 15% discount. With operations across 80 countries worldwide, Miniso is primed to feed your craving for quality life products. Love life, love Miniso. Find us at Miniso Ghana on Facebook and Twitter, and on Instagram at Miniso_Ghana. It's back to school time, and there's good news for parents, guardians, and students. For new entrants to SHS, you can get all your school admission needs without having to walk from one market to the other. Prospectus Ghana Limited offers you one-stop shop for all the items on your child's prospectus. What's amazing? These things are highly affordable. Credit is available for everyone, workers from both the formal and informal sectors. And for busy parents, you can order as the comfort of your home. Service delivery is available. We have everything SHS admission needs. You can locate Prospectus Ghana on the Graphic Road, opposite Toyota Ghana and adjacent Honda. Visit our website, prospectusghana.com. Contact Prospectus Ghana on 0302 955 050 or 0302 955 030. Follow us on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram at Prospectus Ghana. Ghana now has the first one-stop shop to get all your school items. If it's about school admission, then Prospectus Ghana is the place to shop. Let me come back to the mayor of Accra, Mohammed Niaje Soa. So a number of challenges were identified there, which shows that when the cameras are off, we need to work. So what are the measures the AMA is putting in place to ensure that some of the successes chalked in places like Aveno and even in Jamestown are maintained?
Well, thank you very much once again. As I indicated, we have a team of officers from the Public Health Department who go around their normal duty to ensure that residents comply with the sanitation bylaws that we have. In all the communities, we have 6 sub-metros now: the Concord South, the Blakema South, and then the Ashedu Keteke sub-metro, which houses Jamestown and the rest. So it is not like we are taking action today because of the comrades. Now, number 2, there's always a follow-up, because when summons are issued to you, in fact, even the judge that will give you the summons to issue, you need to come back and account for it. Because in time past, the judges feels that some of these summons, when they give it out to public officials, they don't know where it ends. So the judges even will request for you to come and account for the summons that, because the judge has to sign, and she also has to protect her office. So the process of enforcement before the multimedia cameras, during the multimedia cameras, and after the multimedia cameras continues, and we think that this is something that we have to make sure that we bring it to the fore. Let me also say that the number of staff that you have for the enforcement may not be many enough, looking at the of the challenge before us. But we are doing our utmost best to make sure some of these things are done properly. What the cameras has done is that it put a lot of people also on the alert that the camera can capture you anytime for you to do some of these things. The waste management department also go around and also do their normal duties. One thing I have observed is that our drains, which were constructed, colonial times, pre-independence, and have become too small to even accommodate the amount of water and things that go through, because the population of Accra has grown, astronomically, and we need to look at our drains, which is an infrastructure, because in the fight against filth, we do our utmost best to clean the streets of Accra. And I keep saying that, move around the city and look on the streets, but then you look inside the drain and you see that the drains are choked, and that's a big problem. Let me give an example. Agbogboleshi. I see your friends from the media that go to Agbogboleshi quite often. If you looked at Agbogboleshi drain, the way it is constructed, it doesn't flow properly. So we continue to desilt it. But if you desilt the drain, trust me, it doesn't take 1 week and you to come back to what you saw about a week ago.
Why?
So we have an engineering problem. Fortunately, there's a contractor over there, and I'm hoping that in addition to the road that has been asphalted, and we'll look also at the drain, because it's very important. But I'm looking at the Accra drains. The Ministry of Works and Housing is doing well now in tackling some of the storm drains. That's the big drains. But the smaller drains, which allows flow of water in front of our houses and our communities, is where we have a big of a challenge, and we need to step up and invest in that more.
So have any allocations been made? Have any investments been made?
Well, we're working with the Ministry of Works and Housing and the Ministry of Roads and Highways. That's the Urban Roads Department, which is under the Ministry of to focus more on that. In fact, the Minister for Sanitation is also making a very strong case for that, because in a ministry fight to against filth, one of the areas that she also feels that we need to tackle is the drains. Drains construction does not fall under her mandate. So she's then working with the other ministry to also take it up, because those things also affects the kind of work that we are doing.
So you've mentioned the Ministry of Sanitation, there's the Ministry of Works and Housing, there's local governments where you are, and there's the Ministry of Roads.
Yeah.
What has the collective efforts of these 4 ministries achieved so far?
Well, I might say that the Ministry of Roads and Highways, which you have the Department of Urban Roads, it's the body that is handling the smaller drains, and the Works and Housing constructs the storm drains. My point is that the Ministry of Roads and Highways should do more, because the fight against filth will be well fought, and for us to see the Accra being cleaned if we also have proper drains, because as we clean the streets and then you desilt the drains, it doesn't look well. In fact, there's an argument now that, look, we should stop the open drains and construct culverts.
Do you agree?
I mean, that's the standard. I mean, you can't travel in any developed city and see drains open all over. Certainly, because wherever you are, you will still find some amount of littering, and it may end up in the drains. But once the drains are covered and we are cleaning, you know that this is lying, on the ground, and it must be cleaned.
Mr. Soa, I'm surprised you are saying the Ministry of Roads and Highways should do more, because I remember very well my days at Urban Roads. We would regularly report to the MCEs, because Urban Roads has now been decentralized, and so the metro offices report to the MCEs.
Yes.
So why have you not made these demands? Why have you not demanded that this is done?
So let me explain to you. I mean, yes, it's been decentralized, but it's a budget issue. So they have the budget and they do the allocation. So the allocation, which is also given to your assembly, is what you use for. So it is not like it's been decentralized and you have the budget and you determine what to do. So it's more about the budget. And I think that I know that the Honorable Minister for Roads and Highways is a very aggressive person, a very hard person, and is doing his best. But I think that we can do more.
Who chooses which projects are done? Because a number of projects for which funding is available, including 1 million one constituency, give the local community the authority to choose which projects should be tackled immediately.
Well, you are talking about a totally different thing about it.
I'm seeing a number of projects included.
So,
I mean, budgeting, for
exactly,
instance, they have budget officers on the bottom.
Okay, so the $1 million $1 per constituency is a different arrangement. And as I said, yes, budgeting starts from the local area. It gets to the top. And then when it gets there, you have your plate, and your plate is full, depending on your resources, and you do the allocation. So it boils down to amount of resource that central government also has. Okay. So it is not like there's no plan for all these things, but it boils down to the amount of resources that the central government has. So once the central government has that money, I'm sure they will love to do it at any point.
So you've asked for money and you've not gotten it?
Well, it has always been so. It has always been so. And we are hoping that the $1 million $1 per constituency, which the authorities are
Ministry
working
for
on
Special Development Initiatives and the Coastal Development Authority are working on,
would supplement the effort being made by the other ministries and then assemblies.
How many constituency-specific projects have started where you are under 1M1C? I'm just taking that as
what I know is that they constructed some public toilets. I don't have all the
the public toilets are not constituency specific. Those are the ones that are going across the entire nation. I spoke to the PRO yesterday. I understand, but
that's an allocation.
The requests that no. You see, Mr. Toa, there were requests that were made. Yes, and I wanted to know if maybe you are aware of it now. Mm-hmm. That have you made any requests that the projects have started? Because I understand how the budgeting is done under the other monies, but this is money that, if it comes quickly, we can get it.
To the best of my knowledge, the authorities went to defend their budget somewhere just about 2 weeks ago. And see, sometimes the bureaucracy doesn't help the politicians to deliver on time, to meet the expectations of all of us. You have to go through processes, and I'm sure you don't want to. Nobody wants to hear any PPA or whatever issues. You must make sure that you go through the process. So, and these are some of the things that you may not understand. But a lot of effort and work is being done behind the scenes.
If you give us a chance in explain, I'm sure my listeners are very intelligent people. Me, I'm not so sure, but my listeners are very intelligent.
That what?
Yeah, you're saying that we may not understand, but I'm saying if you give us a chance to explain
don't take the comment out of context.
No, I'm not. You're saying that the processes are very long and we may not understand. I'm saying my listeners, we have crack brains out there.
I would draw.
Oh, I didn't. Anyway.
Okay.
It's 24 minutes to the top of the hour. There's the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Is there a national agenda for recycling plastics? I want to find out, and how much are we spending on waste management generally, looking at our budgetary constraints? We'll deal with these questions when we come back. Stay with us.
King of my heart, my one and only. You've been working hard. Shouldn't we travel with the kids to relax? Lodge in a 5-star hotel, go on a boat cruise. Don't worry. With Visa, we can get amazing discounts on summer trips, tickets and tours in UK, Dubai and USA. Where's that flyer, Seth? See, we could also win home appliances when we spend at least $500 or its equivalent in any currency abroad.
Offer open to all Visa card holders till the 13th of September 2019. Visit africa.visa.com for more offers. Ask your bank for an instant Visa card today. Terms and conditions apply. Visa, everywhere you want to be.
So with this promo, we can win some home appliances and I can finally have my peace.
Hey,
Kwame, so you're telling me that if I spend $1,000, I get a $100 voucher?
Yes.
And if I spend $3,000, I get a nice stay at Royal St. Are you sure?
Oh, yes, and many more. With the Stanbic MasterCard Money Wallet, you get to do business and even shop anywhere. You can load up to 5 currencies: British pounds, US dollars, euro, South African rand, and Ghana cedis. I took the card on my last business trip, and just like that, when I got back, I went to relax at Royal St. for a night.
Hey!
Oh, you don't know what is going on. Stanbic MasterCard Money Wallet. Bring home more smiles. Visit our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter pages at Stanbic Bank GH for more information. Offer valid while rewards last in September and October. Stanbic Bank, moving forward.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
I could give you about 15,000 reasons why we love Samsung, but that would make this ad over 50 times as long. How about this? Getting a 32-inch Samsung LED TV for just 899 Ghana cedis, 40 inches at 1,499 Ghana cedis, 55-inch Ultra HD TV at 3,999 Ghana cedis plus a free sound system. More goodies in the Samsung at 50 promo. Yes, it's a gargantuan celebration. The Samsung fridges start from 1,999 Ghana cedis and washing machines from as low as 799 Ghana cedis. This is just the icing on the cake. The celebration continues, so get ready to be blown away. Visit any Samsung store or authorized reseller for your own Samsung. It's the big Samsung at 50 promotion. T's and C's apply.
From importers to exporters, direct to indirect workers, you and I.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Doing business at the port has become easy. The machines are very modern and clearing goods has become very fast.
As a port worker, it is
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
This new facility means a lot to us.
As a cocoa farmer, I have more markets to export my products. The entire world can now
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
The MPS Terminal 3 is a game changer. MPS has invested in world-class equipment and technology to optimize efficiency of doing business.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
And opportunities for our present and our future in Ghana. MPS, we connect, we thrive.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
So you not plaster the house before you paint them?
I dey paint no, because I dey use brush coat.
Brush coat?
Yes, so Charlie, it dey reduce my expenditure, Papa. No need to plaster. All you need to do is just paint. It makes your house beautiful, and above all, it is waterproof.
Waterproof?
Yes, so Charlie, I said waterproof. Make your house beautiful today. Move to Interface Limited and get yourself the new technology brush coat. No need to plaster.
Interface Limited is the leading supplier and installer of finishing input materials for the building and construction industry in Ghana. Call us on 0274-999999 or visit our website at www.interfacelimited.com.
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7.
Read the information on the gas cylinder to be informed of proper care. Always store gas cylinders upright on a stable platform with a valve on top. Keep cylinder installed at ground level. LPG cylinders should be handled with care. Do not roll or drop a gas cylinder on the floor. This can cause an explosion. Stored cylinders should be in a well-ventilated area and kept at a safe distance. Gas cylinders should be transported in an upright position and secured firmly. A message from the National Petroleum Authority. Use it safely and
Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Coffee in your cup and joy on the set. The Super Morning Show is always the best on Joy 99.7 FM. Super Hits Radio, Joy 99.7. Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7. Super Hits Radio. Joy 99.7.
18 minutes till we wrap up totally here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Daniel Dazi here in studio with Mohammed Ej Soa. Your text messages are brought to you by Afrodan. Your back must last you a lifetime, and Glyco Critical Illness Plan GSIP Glyco, we cushion you for life. We're talking about sanitation in the city. Bring home more smiles with the Stanbic Bank Money Wallet. The only card that gives you access to 5 currencies at the same time. Spend $6,000 and above and get a 2-night stay with spa treatment at Royal Saint-Chi. Spend $3,000 and get a 1-night stay at Royal Saint-Chi. Spend $1,000 and get a $100 voucher. Spend $500 and get a $50 voucher. And there's more. When you spend 500 Ghana cedis on a single transaction in Ghana, you get a 50 Ghana cedi voucher. Simply load up to 5 currencies, British pounds, US dollars, euro, South African rand and Ghana cedis, and shop or transact business anywhere. Why stress when you can have all your money on one card? Stanbic Bank Money Wallet multi-currency card. Bring home more smiles. Visit our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages at Stanbic Bank GH. It's the Joy News Habitat Fair 2019. This year, we're pushing the theme Rethinking Building Technology in Ghana to give true meaning to affordable housing. Join us for the Joy News Habitat Fair 2019 in collaboration with Elegant Homes and Super Cement. It's a 3-day event from the Accra International Conference Center from Friday, September 20 to Sunday, September 22. The fair is open from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. each day. To sponsor or to exhibit, please contact 0544 31 0864 0546 908179. The 2019 Joy News Habitat Fair is brought to you by Elegant Homes and General Construction, where quality meets value. Super Cement, build your dream, and is sponsored by Petok. Timeless architectural fittings, Vodafone fixed broadband. Vodafone, the future is exciting. Ready? DBS roofing, Papa Pafie, Domod roof, distinct and dependable. McDuncan Company Limited, building futures. Elbeam Realty, your home is your wealth. Join us Habitat Fair 2019, rethinking building technology to give true meaning to affordable housing. So let's talk a bit, Mr. Soa, about recycling plastics. A lot is being done at Abubloshi. We expected that the plant would have been, rolled out by now. What's happening there? Is there this national agenda that we don't know about?
Well, I'm aware that the Ministry of Science, Technology, Innovation, it's looking at the national plastic recycling policy or plastic policy, and what to do with the plastic, either to ban it or to whatever it's supposed to be done. And I think that the draft policy is with cabinet for consideration. I don't know where it is.
Okay.
I've gone through it. But in between, what before you get a national direction as to what we should do, there are various pockets of recycling activities going on, and I think that it is important we mention some few of them. Look, I went to Cable and Wireless around North Kanishi Dakuma area, and I saw a lot about 4 or 5 medium scale factories there, sort of, that they go around to collect the plastics, recycle it to produce bowls and cups and all kinds of plastic materials over there. I was surprised. So what do we think? In fact, I went there because they are sitting on somebody's land, about 4 or 5 of them. And so I was thinking of how then do we help them to relocate them to, a location where they can permanently do some of these things. There are pockets of informal collectors also in town, and they are doing all kinds of things apart from what the Zoomlion Aracop plant is also doing. So in terms of recycling, the challenge with the recycling is that those of us who generate the refuse, how we dispose it off. So it makes collection a bit difficult. Unlike in many developed societies where people segregate their waste from salt. So you can pick the plastics and do what you do and pick the organic and use it. We mix box everything together, and sometimes it could be littered on the street. So people have to go and collect. If you want it in bulk quantities, then you have to go to the landfill site, and then you have the informal collectors who are the pickers there to also then pick and go and sort it, wash it, and then use it for whatever they want to do. So there's a challenge right from the.
It's a huge challenge indeed. When you're driving through the streets, you see it every day. But does that mean that you are not aware of a national agenda on something like this, recycling plastics?
Well, there are pockets of organization that are pushing it. I know GRIPE is also pushing that agenda. But in all these, I'm saying that the challenge is the willingness on the part of people and companies also to do recycling is there. The challenge is from the generation point, how it is stored. As I speak to you now, so my idea now, which I'm aggressively following, is that, look, in many of our homes, people are unable to buy the 240-liter bins and place it, especially in low-income communities where there's a lot of waste that comes out from. So why won't I provide the biodegradable bags, which is like a polythene bag that we use? But the polythene bag that we use will take more than 400 years before it would decompose or degrade in the landfill. So we're looking at the use of the biodegradable bags. I've gotten samples just yesterday of the biodegradable bags. We'll test it and see how long will it take, because we're looking at maximum 2-3 days for it to degrade, and how we're going to distribute it to the various households and make sure that they use those biodegradable bags as receptacles for the storage of waste, because it's becoming very difficult for us. When we finished with our waste characterization, we realized that there's an urgent need for us to collect the plastics also from the system, because it's becoming increasingly a pollutant in the system.
Very interesting points here. Answer this directly for me. Have you been contacted by the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology and Innovation, or any state institution, to take feedback, to take consultation, or to be communicated to about a recycling plan that is national in nature? Have you been contacted by anyone like that as the mayor of Accra?
I'm not too sure about what you're talking about. There's a national recycling plan.
Have you been contacted? No, a plan, not plan.
Plan. Yes. I'm saying that there's a from it. It was the Ministry for Local Government. It's also on the cabinet committee. So the minister.
They told you that there's a cabinet plan that's
in fact
they're working on.
They submitted the draft policy to some of us to look at it and make an input into it. So that process is being considered.
Do you know how much we spend on waste management in Accra Metro?
In Accra Metro, it will be difficult for me to mention a figure for now.
In 1 year.
And 1 year, I'm sure when I come back, I don't want to speculate.
Really?
Yeah. But it's a lot of money, to be honest with you.
Give me a ballpark. Accra Metro, 10 million.
Look, I spend only in the central business district. I spend close to 5,000 Ghana cedis a day on fuel.
Fuel for
the trucks.
So that gives us an idea.
That's for fuel alone, not for tools, not for equipment,
that's 150,000.
Not for compensation for workers and all these things. So just for fuel,
150,000 a month.
You can imagine on fuel alone.
Mohammed Ijesoa, thank you.
Thank you very much, my brother. It's good to have me here.
It's very good for you to.
I promise to be here next month.
You promise to be here next month.
I promise to be here
Don't
next month.
trifle with my listeners, Mr.
I promise to be here because on the plastic front, there's a Norwegian that are in town. They have been very aggressive. It's led by the former minister for international something affairs in Norway, and they are looking at it. So I'm sure their second visit will help us to make sure that we get a concrete plan for the plastic. Right.
Thank you very much. Follow at Accra Metropolis on Twitter. And at Accra Metropolis, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Mayor Ejesoa on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
Gun songs. I don't know whether it's prepared for.
What did you say?
The gun songs.
You like the gun songs?
Can I play it for me once before I leave?
We'll take a video of him dancing. Nearly time for us to wrap up today's Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM.
99.7.
The average person will sit about 75,000 hours in his working life, but as humans, we are not made to